about to be lit next week. Halloween festivities at Canvas. Halloween festivities at Victor's on Main after.
It's gonna be bussin'.
It's gonna be fun. I got my. I'm gonna be a Sith Lord.
Let's talk about
Darth Giancarlo. I don't even fucking know. Yo, bro.
We're recording whenever you're ready.
We're already recording? That's awesome. Y'all got that?
I don't know if it picked it up, but...
That's great, man. I love Halloween, bro.
Hit him with the intro one time.
What hit the intro?
Your intro, whatever you got.
Ladies and gentlemen, you have tuned in now to the Fan Fusion podcast. I am your host, JC the God, accompanied by Merrick himself. This is episode 2. We're here. How you doing?
I'm good. Real quick, can you restate that Halloween costume?
My Halloween costume, I'm a Sith Lord, Darth Giancarlo. It's going to be great, bro.
Darth Giancarlo.
Bro, I'm going to have to play, like, the Imperial March. That's the first song up there on the stage, bro. Like, that's the tone we're setting. You know what is it? I've never been a Star Wars character for Halloween. I was a priest last year. The year before that, I was Miles. I think the year before that, I was, like, Batman. The Robert Pattinson Batman, and the year before that was Woody. So it was like, you know,
what a range.
Yeah, the range is crazy.
From cowboy to Dark Knight to fucking priest.
And then I think one year I was Morty too. No, Rick. I was Rick, and that was cool. I don't know. My love for Halloween has gotten more as I've gotten older. Maybe when I have kids of my own, it'll be more fun. But hey, I'm a kid at heart, so we're both kids at heart. You know, so this is what we do, man. You know, so. As we start this episode, I think we wanted to touch base on some things about the past fandom festival that just happened.
Yeah, the Fitchburg Fandom Festival that would have taken place a short while before we recorded this. We were really excited about getting this podcast up and going because of the Fitchburg Fandom Festival and our autism-friendly Comic-Con event sponsored by Coffee Corp and Mass Cultural Council and Mass Development and TDI. And we had a really successful weekend a couple weekends ago.
Extremely successful. It was great.
Year 2, wonderful turnout, lots of support. And I was just really, really happy with how it all came together.
Yeah, it was great. I feel like I got to talk to I forgot names. I'm so bad with names, guys, I'm sorry, guys. I spoke to the guy that was dressed as Superman. I think somebody you might know. I forgot his name.
Rocinante Cosplay.
Yeah, he's super.
Jack Lowe.
He's super cool. Shout out to him. I really got this. I went down to every table that day at the Fandom Festival, and I really showed appreciation. Just tapped in with people, and just making them feel welcome. I think that's very important when you have these people come down and take their time to really just be part of a very special day for the community. For Merrick to put this together, everybody that helped put this together, and I think it was so cool to see, and I love to, I'm looking forward to the future of it. I think I've also game that we were participating in. I think I struggled with that a little bit.
Blood on the Clock Tower.
Blood on the Clock Tower is definitely different.
Yo,
bro, that was like different for me, but I think it was cool.
I think
it's all good.
My bad.
I know it's cool. I feel like not that I felt like that I didn't participate in it, but I feel like if I get an understanding of like how do I put myself out there without them knowing who I am, but also kind of like lying and but I think it was cool. It was definitely a different experience for me, but it was fun. And I think you guys playing Dungeons and Dragons after. That's what you guys are playing after, right?
We had a real nice turnout for that at the end of the day this year, which was really, really exciting. I was just really happy with the team and how this all came together. I'm so excited to see how the team can participate in more things for next year, for year 3. I was just really happy with it. And we were really able to celebrate a lot of things pop culture. We celebrated anime with some of our vendors. We celebrated video games with our retro video game corner. Certainly music and dance. And it was just as much of a celebration as it could be of just all things that people love to celebrate as fans of whatever community they're a part of.
Of course. Definitely those people, coming in with awesome things, craft things, those people, selling comics, so it was cool. It was cool to see people, that there's people out here that are willing to come in, just showcase what they got going on too. And that's what's important too, kind of showing the passion and, just making you feel as a kid. I'm excited for next year too. I think, I definitely want to be a part of that as well. And maybe we got some light music in the background, and we just get some all the tolerable volume, so we could kind of get just like a sick playlist of just like theme songs and things that we just grew up on, and just keep it in the background, And
I'll mention that if you would like to get more information on I was going to say the Fan Fusion podcast also, but the Fitchburg Fandom Festival, you can find out more on what we did at merrickhenry.com. You can also find out more on coffeecorp.org. There's a great write-up and history of just what really the first year was like. We're working on the second year. Also, too, Merrick Henry, have to update the website for the Merrick Henry website. My bad. But there's plenty of information on how the event went and such. You can also follow it on Instagram at Fitchburg Fan Fest. That's the handle for Instagram. So it's really cool that we're able to start bringing like our love for different fandoms and pop culture things, not just through the podcast here, but to other live events like the Fitchburg Fan Fest. So I'm really excited to see how this can merge with that in the years to come. So we'll see.
And more people, we need more vendors, people that are going to come and just showcase their art, crafts, things that just, represent, them being crafty.
Crafts, not craps.
Yeah, crafts, and more or less, just come and have fun, bring the kids, bring the family, and just check it out. Next year is going to be bigger. It continues to get bigger. And just come and be part of it. Even if it's to share, just to pull up for half an hour. This year we had fun. Shout out to Thomas too for hooking it up with the extraordinary cake.
Thomas Moser, Secretary of Coffee Corp, absolutely crushed it on that cake. He went out of his way, being the good friend that he is. He went and got a cake with my face on it, but I was the Green Ranger on the picture in the cake.
That was great.
Wild. But so honored.
Yeah.
I'm smiling so hard just at the thought of it. But
yeah, that was great. You deserve that much more, bro. I mean, you do a lot for us, and we are definitely inspired and glad to have you like in our life. And I think that you deserve that much more. And with the success that you've had with so many years of hard work, trials, tribulations, and you just grinding and really just believing in your art. Now is the ball's in your court, my brother, so you deserve that. So hats off, bro.
I'm getting verklempt.
Hats off, man.
Live on the pod.
Yeah, man.
Yeah. What's funny, too, it means so much. Thank you so much. The crazy thing that I did before the Fandom Festival, the weekend before, I was in Salt Lake City.
Okay, how was that? I want to hear about that.
You can't see on the audio version, but on the camera version, I'm pointing to the hat where I got this hat from Salt Lake out there. So I went to a whole other Comic-Con on the side of the country, a whole another Comic-Con on the other side of the country before coming back to do my own.
Yeah, I want to hear your experience on that.
How stupid is that? But I did it. I had to we did like one of our last committee meetings before FanFest. I did it. I took the call under like a table at the convention center out there so I could try to hear and stuff. And I was like, what's the feedback? Like, sorry, I'm at a completely different Comic-Con right now.
Right.
I'm being very irresponsible 2 hours apart from you guys. That was a ton of fun. I was supporting my friend Preston Knight, musician, talented entertainer in his own right. I was going out to hang out with him and his partner, Naomi. She had a table. She was selling her art and such, so she was a featured vendor there. And they had the tickets for me, or not necessarily for me, but like, hey, we have free vendor tickets. Would you want to come out? And I'm like, yeah, I want to. And I thought, hey, this would be a great opportunity to create, finally, and unveil a Powerline cosplay. Because I've performed eye to eye since the start of COVID, basically. That's become a staple in my sets. And I felt like I needed a Powerline from Goofy movie outfit to kind of call my own.
Bro, that movie is one of my favorites ever. So when I seen that, dude, that was great. That was awesome. So how did that come about? Like, even you getting the vendor ticket, was it easy for you to be able to showcase and, do your thing? Because, I don't know how that came about, like, when it came to the vendor stuff.
So I was just there really as just a helpful friend. I just had a free pass to get in. I wanted to do what I could to help set up the table for Naomi, to earn my keep, certainly. They're letting me stay with them, and, we're all hanging out together, so I didn't want to be dead weight. So I'm doing what I can to help set up. But then the rest of the time, we're kind of just free to roam about the cabin and do whatever we want to. And my big thing was, if I'm doing a Powerline cosplay, I'm I know there's got to be some karaoke thing out there for Comic-Con, for geeks who just want to get up there and sing. So that's kind of really why I put together the cosplay. Was I want to perform in this thing. Did not know that the first day that they did cosplay karaoke, that there was going to be such an immediate line from the moment things opened up. I was not prepared for that. So I actually wound up getting pushed into the second day of cosplay karaoke. It worked out because there was such a carryover from the day before, because so many people wanted to get up and sing, or they found out about it afterwards or whatever. I actually wound up having like the perfect size audience, considering, and I got to perform Eye to Eye by Powerline from Goofy Movie.
That's awesome.
Now I performed it in a different key that I'm used to, and those vocals are dry because it is a karaoke setup. It is not a professional setup by any means. Now, it was sponsored by Nerd HQ, which is Zachary Levi's mental health advocacy program for those that are of different, fandom interests and stuff.
Interesting. That's cool.
But regardless, the sound system you're not expecting a grade A performance.
Right.
You're still giving it your all. The music's low. You're trying to hear yourself. The audience is trying to hear you too. So I'm like, I'm just going to blast my vocals balls to the wall and see what happens. So a lot of it was kind of obnoxious for me, but I'm testing things out on the fly. I have video footage of it. I'll eventually put out the complete thing.
Yeah, I think I've seen a clip of it. I think on TikTok or something. If you haven't followed Merrick on TikTok.
Thanks, man.
I feel like,
yeah.
That's cool. You're able to catch some content too and just showcase the fit, because I know you're very, when it comes to the fits and your cosplay, so you take a lot of pride into that. So that's awesome.
And just a great opportunity just to make new friends at these Comic-Cons. And that's a big thing that I do want to really touch on for our Fan Fest Year 3, is making our space a great space to hang out.
Right.
A lot of Comic-Cons nowadays are kind of focused on buying of things, buy, and getting all these things. But there's also it's also a great opportunity to just, hey, I want to go hang out with my friends at this cool spot because we just want a spot to hang out.
Right.
So we can highlight that a little bit better.
Yeah, were you able to like network with some people that had like common interests, or like more like say Power Rangers or just anything else, like as far as like choreography? Okay. So how'd that go?
CV is a gentleman from Hawaii.
Okay.
And he has a table set up. Now, what's funny, too, is when we were setting up the night before the con started, there was a table that had these very reflective Power Ranger Kamen Rider prints, like paper prints, and hung up on the back wall and stuff of the vendor table. So I wanted to find who this vendor was the next day. And the next day, that the person still wasn't there. So I'm like, oh, no. Okay, well, I'll come back in a little bit. But then, after a while, I realized I don't remember where the table is. So
oh my God.
We spent my friend Preston and I, because he was invested in this now too. We spent like an hour and a half trying to remember where the dumb table was, because it was supposed to be somewhere in the front, and it's just like I couldn't remember. And then with like the last 15 minutes before the end of the first day, I found the table again, and I got a chance to like look it over. And he had the Power Ranger paper prints up, but he also had these pins. These metal pins that he designed himself, that he produces them himself, and of Power Ranger stuff, of Kamen Rider stuff. So I found my table.
Yep.
But I only had like 10 minutes left on the day. So I'm like, I'm so glad I found you. I'm coming back tomorrow. And then I did. And I got to talk with him a bit more. And I got to show him some of my stuff that I do when I perform my pop music in my Power Ranger outfits.
Okay. How did he take that? How was that for him?
He was blown away by it. From what he had said. That was his quote. That was what he had said to me, to just, see this geeky guy who looks like me, but just dancing with two talented backup dancers wearing a Power Ranger outfit. What is going on? So I think I made a really good friend in him. And who knows, maybe we get to appear at a different Comic-Con together for something else. But he was really cool. So I bought 3 prints from him, and I bought 3 pins.
Oh, that's dope. I got to see the pins.
I
love pins. I want to check that out.
I bet
the pins are nice, too. So he does the art himself?
Yep.
Okay, that's cool. That's awesome, man. That's
so
always good.
I found my Power Ranger guy for sure.
Yeah, it makes you feel happy too. He's like, damn, like you're so passionate. So like he said, I mean, you always tell me this too, like that, that not that it's a dying franchise, but it's just a franchise that, people just like either you appreciate it, and it's you know, like. But there is people that there's a big love, admiration for the Power Rangers, you know, stuff like from even as a kid. Like I remember having the first movie on VHS, you know, like it's just one of those things, man. Like, you know, me and my brother were, I think I had sent you like a couple years ago of like a picture my mom made or something. It was like of my brother. I think he was dressed as the Red Power Ranger. Was the samurai one?
Yep.
Him as a baby, and then there was one of the Red Ranger. So it's like, you know, we that shows you like I'm not gonna say I'm the ultimate Power Ranger, but yes, we loved Power Rangers growing up. So that was like our thing too. Like, you know, that a lot of the kids from like the '90s love the Power Rangers, bro. Like,
it would be really nice for those that don't know. We haven't properly addressed this or whatever, but I love my DC and my Marvel. I certainly do, especially now with it being mainstream. I love what films and television are doing with all these characters. But Power Rangers is my number one thing. Period. It just represents all of my favorite qualities in superhero storytelling. Different stages of fighting, human civilian fights with henchmen, big monster fights in cool costumes, large scale fights with giant robots.
Right.
It's just, there's just variety in what's done with the Power Ranger franchise. I hope that Hasbro can really lock in with the brand and put out new material. For those that don't know, Power Rangers for a long time has taken its source material from the Japanese show Super Sentai. They would take a lot of the fight footage from there, import it over here, and shoot original scenes around the footage that they get. It saves on a lot of costs. It's a very unique production. No one else has done anything like that, where they're taking another show and either overdubbing it and shooting brand new material for it, creating brand new material for it. It's just very unique in that way. The idea is that they're going to be making new material. Hasbro, they linked a deal with Disney Plus to produce a new Power Rangers show on the platform.
Oh, this is how soon? Like next year? This is something that was just recently announced? Okay.
Yeah. So we'll see what happens with that. It's been a very interesting road with Power Rangers, because when Hasbro bought the brand, the CEO was very excited about having it as just another catalog to go with Transformers and My Little Pony and all these other things. Nerf blasters, certainly. Yeah, no. And then he passed away, and since then there's been a recent expose on the brand where, for Hasbro, if people weren't doing such a good job on their other brands or whatever, they would get put on the Power Rangers brand as a punishment. Right,
exactly. Because Barbie, that's Mattel, right? That's not Hasbro.
That's Mattel. Right?
Yeah, so, yeah, and I feel like even, what was it?
It's unfortunate that it was relegated to such like a low part of the totem pole. Where we don't care about this at all.
Yeah, didn't they do a remake? Like, who was it that was in it? Didn't they do a live action Power Ranger movie maybe less than 10
2017,
years ago?
Yeah.
2017. How was your thoughts on that? Because I remember seeing that. I just don't remember.
Well, I will say, with that film, a large part of why Saban, who owned the Power Rangers originally before selling it to Disney, then bought it back from Disney because
that sounds
Disney
familiar.
didn't care for it. So Saban Entertainment was banking on this film in 2017 to make money to continue the brand. When it didn't work, that's when they were kind of bailing water. That's how you get to the sale of Hasbro. That's why I bring that up. But
do you know how much they sold it for?
$500 million.
Wow.
Yeah, $500 million is what I think they sold to Hasbro for, roughly.
Wow.
The 2017 film, I appreciate a lot. I saw it in the movie theater.
Yeah, I think I did too. I remember seeing the full movie.
I thought there was actually a great attention to details of the characters to honor what came before, reinvent the brand and such, reinvent these characters, tell a different, unique story that's a bit more modern day, that's not the 1993, we're high school kids. We're supposed to be teenagers with attitude, but we really don't talk back to adults ever. And we also are involved in every decathlon, and we help clean the environment, and we're good friends to everyone, and we're absolute role models as teenagers with attitude. So I was always here for it's not even that the Power Rangers film was too dark. It was just a bit more honest and real.
Yeah, it was realistic. It was like realism, but it was a very serious tone. That's what I kind of remember. I kind of remember them like what was it? They kind of like went and like fell like through.
They fell into this crater basically.
Yeah, and there was like a thing there.
Stellar cast.
Yeah.
All around, from the heroes to Bryan Cranston as your mentor to your villains with Elizabeth Banks. Stellar cast. I do think it's a little. It would have been better if the Power Rangers could be Power Rangers sooner.
Right.
And not just in the third act. I understand that you're trying to build character development with these characters, and you're kind of even picking and choosing some more than others. So I understand that. It would have been better if they transformed sooner. I was still emotional when the Zords came up to fight the giant Goldar monster.
Right.
When they started playing that theme song from the 1995 film, the one that we have on VHS, I did start to get a little emotional at that. Because I felt like I had a moment movie moment genuinely made for me.
Yeah, no, that was that the Green Ranger pulled up, right?
No.
Well, the White Ranger?
They teased a Tommy Green Ranger at the end of the first film.
Because it was like him there, right? And like in
just
the city?
his jacket. They
just
had his jacket there.
Okay, I'm
it
losing
would
my
have
mind.
been great to have him. That's really why I was excited for the sequel. Could we just get to the Green Ranger story, because that is the best part, aside from Jason David Frank and Tommy and all of that from the original series. Mm-hmm. The cool part is when the Power Rangers fight an evil Power Ranger. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, we could not get to that film. Mm-hmm. So that is my love for Power Rangers in a nutshell. I will support it in basically anything. I will buy toys for it. I will watch whatever I can from it. I love the comic book line so much. I still have to catch up on some of it, but what they've done in the comics within recent years has really given a lot of leeway to creative storytelling with the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers brand specifically, and just turning these characters on their head and just, doing something different with them. So they've been doing a really good job with that. So I'm very hopeful for the franchise. I would love it if we could get out of the Mighty Morphin Power Rangers stuff, because there's just so many other creative ways to work with this franchise and not just the same 6 characters.
Yeah, like how much different Power Rangers teams do they have? Like a lot, right?
Well, if you're going with America, you've got 30 years worth of Ranger teams. If you're going with Japan, you've got 50 years of Ranger teams. And they don't repeat Ranger teams in Japan. They only did it one time, and that was it. You've got 50 different Power Ranger teams for the Super Sentai.
I remember like Rescue.
50 Super Sentai teams.
I remember there was one with like the animals.
Yep.
I forgot the names, but I remember Rescue, because I think those wasn't there a game for.
There's Lightspeed Rescue that had a really fun video game.
That was also the GameCube. Was it for the GameCube though? There was one for the GameCube.
There was
the Rescue one.
Dino Thunder was for GameCube. Lightspeed Rescue was also N64.
Okay.
That N64 game's kind of trash, not gonna lie, but the PS1 game is good. Time Force is my favorite. Funny enough, when I actually went out to Salt Lake, I actually went to a panel for Walter Emmanuel Jones, the original Black Ranger, the figure that I have here on the table for those that can't see in audio, and Jason Font, who was the Red Ranger from Time Force. They did a Power Ranger panel together, basically. That was the first time I'd ever been at a Power Ranger panel. It was cool. Fun for the fans, people asking fun questions and stuff. Because the building was so big, they were actually like 10 to 15 minutes late for the panel, which is kind of funny. But yeah, so they were cool. They were very good with their time. And they're usually good to fans. I got to meet both of them at New York Comic Con when I went last year. And they're very good to their fans. They're very good for that.
That's good.
So it was just cool. It was just cool. Like, I got some Power Ranger love out of it. I got to make a really new friend in CV with his apparel, which is great. And honestly, I genuinely would love to just go to a separate Power Ranger Comic Con.
Like they have them, right?
They do, yep. There's Power Morphicon in Anaheim. That's the big one. But there's also other smaller ones called Ranger Stop. And that's a traveling Comic Con type event. But so yeah, that's
cool.
That's
maybe down the line you'll
fandom.
be able to be part of one of those cons too. That'll be something to look forward to. Now that everything you got going on, you can pitch an idea to them, and it's all manifestation, my brother.
Hey, you're performing Power Ranger. Would be very interested in performing at a Power Rangers convention. I will not knock that. At all.
Yeah, because the Power Rangers album, that's something that's.
What about you, man? What's your Die Hard franchise?
I think my Die Hard franchise.
That's not Die Hard.
That's not what?
That's not Die Hard. Even though we love Die Hard around here, we love the film franchise, but
what it really boils down to, everything pop culture, everything. I would say Star Wars, with honorable mention of like Dragon Ball Z, because Star Wars was one of those things with my grandfather and stuff like that. He liked Star Trek. He liked all those type of things. But I really got into Star Wars because I remember having the OGs in a VHS.
Yep.
And I don't know, bro. Like, I feel like I'll never forget that one time, like, you know, when Phantom Menace came out, seeing it in theaters. I'll never forget that. Like, I think Phantom Menace, like, other than Episode 3 is one of my favorites. I feel like, you know, Phantom Menace for me was, like, one of the best movies of all time. I really loved, you know, the story. I really like seeing, like, young Anakin and
the media campaign on Phantom Menace.
Yeah,
you could not escape that toy line.
Those toys.
Massive.
Those toys. You know, the Star Wars toys, like, are super dope too. Like, you know, I feel like that's why I like going to like Toy Vault in Marlboro, because they have a lot of really good, like, extremely good condition toys, especially Star Wars. You know, I was a little younger, so it's like I wasn't around to, like, you know, really collect those stuff, and I wish I would have been able to put some stuff away, more or less, because I love WWE and stuff at the time too, still do. But Star Wars was a big thing, man. Like, you know, especially Episode 1, and then when I got a little older, maybe like 5th, 6th grade, and then I started really getting deep into it and stuff like that, like watching the old ones again, and then Episode 2, and then when Episode 3 came out, what, 2007, I think?
2006.
2006?
No, yes, 2006.
2007, like, that was like a whole thing, man. You know,
I was aware enough of the hype for Star Wars Episode 3. I was a little, I know we're the same age, but like I just wasn't into Star Wars in that way when Episode 1 came out. And that obviously was massive. But Episode 3, I was awake and conscious for it. And you couldn't escape that either. That was,
Attack
we're
of the
getting
Clones.
the conclusion to the story at the time.
Yeah, Attack of the Clones was cool, but it wasn't like fulfilling like Episode 3 was, you know, because for a lot of people, like, you know,
it was filler.
It was filler, and people just...
And now we have a great, incredible show from it, you know, obviously. But,
right, and that's the thing. People really... You know, the Clone Wars is such a success, you know. I can't say that I've ever finished it. There's a lot of, like, you know, things in between, like, that did happen, that they did get to put in animated series, that it was good. Like, seeing Darth Maul return, you know, things like that. You know, but even Episode 3, like, it was just amazing, man. Like, you know... Even, like, you know, Rogue One. Like, Rogue One was a phenomenal film, you know.
Rogue One is my favorite.
You know.
It's my favorite Star Wars film.
You know,
I love its complete beginning, middle, and end.
And that's the thing, too, is, like, my love for it, maybe it's not as deep as I think it is, because it is. But, you know, I got to give time to Clone Wars. I have to give time to, like, Andor, because Andor's success is, like, amazing, too. It got nominated for so many things. It's very self-acclaimed, and people love it. You know, like,
if Andor could have kept going, they would have.
Yeah,
they just kind of really couldn't. It was just too big for its own good.
Yeah, and
but it's so gorgeous, yeah.
And you know, and with the newer series is like, you know, they have so much good elements, and people can sit here and blame Rian Johnson or whatever the case may be. But you know, I feel like the direction of, like, when Disney did take Star Wars from George Lucas and took that whole thing, it kind of did ruin things a little bit. But there was hope with Mandalorian. Ahsoka, those are all great. The Obi-Wan series was really good too. And even, like, the Mandalorian Grogu movie next year is going to be a big hit. I think it's going to be...
It's going to be a big deal to have another Star Wars film in theaters.
It's been a while. And I'm glad they were able to...
It's been a while. Sorry.
It's been a while. That, and I think it's the Starfighter movie too that's coming out.
I'm not as enthralled with it. Like, Ryan Gosling's in it, and that's cool. I'm sure it'll be a good film. Well, okay, I guess I can't be sure that it's a good film because we do have the sequel trilogy. But I'm excited enough for it, but I'm more excited with Mandalorian Grogu just because that is meant to be a conclusion to the Book of Boba Fett and Ahsoka.
Yep. Ahsoka was great. It has so much great frames and cinematic, you know, moments, and, like, you know, and I feel like with Ahsoka, there's a feature for that too. Now, you know, as far as, like, you know, these rumors that I see about, like, Cal Kestis being, like, brought into the live action, that'd be cool.
Kind of no excuse.
You know, if they do bring him in for the
Cameron
Mandalorian
Monaghan is young enough to do this. He just did great work. I don't want to say great work, but he did, like, his own stunt work and stuff in Tron Ares. So, like, he's doing, and he's already
really?
doing
I wasn't aware of that.
He's already doing the motion capture stuff in the Jedi games. So, like, there's kind of no excuse to not bring him into live action. He's kind of like the perfect fit right now to do it. So it would be really smart if they bridge that. Oop, I hit the mic, my bad. They should bridge it.
Yeah, and I feel like, I remember there was a scene in, I think the last season of Mandalorian, or I think it was I think it was last season, Mandalorian, where they show the BD, like the unit, like the droid unit that he uses.
Yep.
At where
Which is cool.
And
Which is great.
And that's good because that shows like, oh, those droids were around. You know, there's hope for like a cow in the future. Like
I don't know, a Star Wars TV special presentation or something. You know,
something,
like
you know.
Not like, you know, the Ewok thing that.
But now to think
through,
like these little spin-offs and stuff like that, like what's the future? Like what are your thoughts? Like do you think we're gonna see Rey again? Are we gonna see Finn maybe get a saber, you know, and become a Jedi later down the line?
I think Finn's actor is pretty done with Star Wars, and I don't blame him. I think he got promised a lot of false promises on like, this is where we're gonna go with your character. Oh, sorry, this fan base is really toxic. We're not gonna give you a damn thing anymore. So that wouldn't surprise me. I would like to see. They announced it certainly, and I think they're still gonna do something with Rey's character. I don't think they're gonna abandon it. It would be nice to see something with Daisy Ridley's character. I'd really like to see something there.
I think she was good. I just feel like there was so many like strange like things, especially with like the last episode, because like the second episode, well, the 8th episode.
Yeah,
I think that one was like, you know, the one that really like, you know, with Snoke and stuff like that, where he just gets killed off, and then, you know, everything that happens with like Kylo Ren and her, and I don't know, it was just like her being Palpatine's like granddaughter. I feel like the direction of like the story went so all over the place, man. Like, you know, and it sucks because we got to see Luke, and I think that was great, you know, but it was very confusing.
I'll be honest, I really didn't mind the Rey Palpatine plot twist, and I only say that because I liked the idea of Episode 9 sort of tying into the rest of the Skywalker saga that they've been selling, you know? So I liked that in the same way that Episode 9 was playing into, like, this is Endgame, you know? Like, we're building up to this big thing. I liked the approach. Do I think it was messy how we got there, considering that they sort of were trying to pull back on what happened in Episode 8 because there was so much pushback? Yeah. Was a bit of it poorly explained? Sure. But what fascinates me about the Star Wars universe as a fan, me specifically, I love the Jedi and Sith storytelling. I've never really been too big on Rebels, Empire, First Order, whatever. I like the world building that the Jedi Temple offers, that the world of the Sith, and I really liked the idea of like having this massive army of Sith, you know, users, just going up against Rey at the end. I liked this whole like dark cult of characters. So I would have liked, I don't know, I like more stories that are Jedi Sith related in Star Wars stuff. So when I see the Squadron Fighters thing, it's like, cool. That's not my favorite corner of the Star Wars universe. I like a lightsaber.
If anything, I love pod racing more, bro.
Pod racing is pretty fun too.
It's cool. Like, you know, it don't gotta be a whole film about it, but you know,
but an animated series would be fun.
It sounds crazy because you guys probably think like, this guy is a fake Star Wars fan. But what was the last recent Star Wars live action series that we got with the High Empire, the High Republic, the one with the Jedis, with the twins?
The Acolyte.
The Acolyte was good. It had a lot of good moments, and it had a lot of good elements. Unfortunately, it was canceled after the first season, but dude, that scene when that saber turned from blue to red, the kyber crystal, dude, that was really good. Like, see, like they give us these good elements and these good stories, and they just like, I don't know what they do. And then we see the cameo with Darth Plagueis creeping up, you know. They could build up to something really good. They could have done. They could have given us 2 more seasons of that, and it could have been cool. But you know, as Star Wars right now, I feel like they need to have.
Star Wars played the same thing that Marvel did, and this was directed from up top. We are telling all of our studios to do this, Pixar included. Content. Your studio direction doesn't matter. We need to fill this platform out. We need to justify spending $5 billion into this, you know, platform or whatever, you know. And I think every brand suffered for it, and that includes the Star Wars brand too.
Yeah, they did, and I'm glad they took a little hiatus. But I know the Mandalorian Grogu film won't disappoint. I think there's definitely gonna be hope to see what happens in the future with him and with Grogu as well. Are we gonna see Grogu older years down the line? You know, we'll see what happens. I feel like there's definitely like room for Grogu to be like the next Yoda. You know, who knows? We'll see what happens. I don't know what direction they're going right now, but as far as like a whole new trilogy, I don't think they're aiming for that right now. I think they're just kind of like.
Yeah, I don't think they have that liberty.
I think they're still at the drawing board. You know, at least with Marvel, they're, you know, they know where they're going. But with Star Wars right now, it's kind of a franchise that like, Star Wars fans are tough, man. They nitpick everything.
I think they're only looking at Mandalorian and Grogu right now. Like they've announced their plans for things and stuff. But I think in terms of like films, like so far, I think they're just looking at Mandalorian and Grogu.
Yeah, I think this, if I'm not mistaken, it could have been fake. I think they were supposed to be working on a Darth Maul animated series, which I would be look forward to seeing.
Yes,
that too.
that is a thing they announced at the Star Wars Celebration. Yeah.
Yeah, that would be cool to see. You know, if you know him and Dathomir, or you know his origins. You know, because that's something like who's the Ray Parks that plays I don't know if he'll play the voice for him.
Sam Witwer, I believe, is most likely because he would have done the voice in the Clone Wars.
Okay, so that'll be the same guy that voices him.
I believe so, and he also played. Oh man, I can't remember the name of this was the main character of Star Wars: The Force Unleashed, the video games.
Oh, the guy that was like the
something Merrick, something Merrick or whatever.
Is it your cousin, bro? I'm about to say, all right.
We're close in the name in the spelling.
But see, the Force Unleashed trilogy games too were really good too. That story was sick. But yeah, no, we'll see what they do with that. I mean, you know, with Star Wars, it's kind of tough right now, man. You know, for them to like really get back to the drawing board, you know, it's like they're kind of like holding on to the past, you know.
Does it feel hard when it's such a franchise that you care about so much, and it feels like why aren't we? Not that we're missing as much, but it feels like why aren't we completely getting this right? Why is this not hitting with the fans? Do you feel like as a diehard fan of like, it sucks that it's not working?
It's tough. Not to bash Disney because we love you guys, but you know, I feel like I don't know if they have the right people on board writing these things. And hey, at the end of the day, it's like, how do you take a franchise that was built from the mind of George Lucas and like a franchise like, you know, like Stan Lee, like one guy's imagination and Cade and favor to people and really satisfy the fans. You know?
I feel this way with Power Rangers of why can't we get this right?
Yeah, I agree.
Now, mind you, Power Rangers is a much poorer franchise than Star Wars, but you get my point.
But, you know, when you see that there's kids now that have like a Darth Vader show, you know that this from like 40, 50, years ago is still here and it's still present, and even with the kids, you know, it's cool to see it. But how we gonna like teach this next generation, you know, like this is like dope, this is cool, this is like what we love, but this is like the new thing too. How do we continue to like, you know, keep that longevity and keep the legacy alive? So, you know, let's see for the future though. Let's see what they do. Let's see what, you know, I think this Mandalorian Grogu movie is gonna be a huge hit in the box office,
a lot
all
of
around.
eyes are going to be on it for sure.
I'm hoping it's at least 120 minutes, maybe. You know, I don't know. I mean, I kind of like 100, 20 maybe, because 90-minute movies are more for like different type of things. I feel like a movie like Mandalorian Grogu, there's gonna be a lot of.
No, I think
they might go back to Hoth too. I'm not sure.
I think it'll be at least like close to a 2.5 hour epic. I couldn't imagine them doing 2 hours on that.
Yeah, because
it doesn't work.
3 hours are a lot, bro.
That big, you know. One final topic before we go, because you touched on it, and I know this is such a big part of who you are. Can you talk about you and Dragon Ball?
Me and Dragon Ball, man.
We haven't touched on anime, really. We haven't
touched on anime. I love Dragon Ball Z, bro. Like honestly, like I never forget being a kid.
Game changer.
And getting into Dragon Ball Z. I remember getting into it and not finishing it, and then also just say, oh, you know what, I want to go to Dragon Ball.
The OG series.
Yes, and I really love the adventurous feel of Dragon Ball, and seeing Goku and coming up, and Master Roshi, and all these guys like on Earth, and everybody's little and young, and just him being goofy and just him being who he is. And I think it was awesome to see those good movies with Dragon Ball 2, and it was pretty long.
It is crazy to think about the original Dragon Ball manga and the series where it's Goku fighting the Red Ribbon Army and training with Master Roshi, and it's all about tournament fighting. And then in Dragon Ball Z, like we're going to different planets and we're fighting intergalactic tyrants and stuff. And now that has become the identity and brand for Akira Toriyama.
Akira
Toriyama,
God rest his soul, man.
The original stuff. It is a very interesting 180. Oh, this is why you have a tail. You know, so it is a very interesting double spot.
Yeah, because we're old. So I feel with Dragon Ball Z, bro, like that was such a revolutionary thing where it changed things and inspired so much animes and mangas, you know, like Naruto, things like that, much other ones, like, and even when like the continuous success of One Piece, you know, that's just like Star Wars. Star Wars. I'm like, look at me. So thinking about Star Wars, bro. DBZ, man. You know, there's the characters are here to stay forever. You know, those sagas that we got in DBZ were so crazy. Like I'll never forget like the Frieza saga going into the Cell Android, like the Cell saga, like the Buu saga, seeing like Goku like really get to this level of like, you know, Super Saiyan 3, and you know, seeing Vegeta like eventually like partner up with Goku and fuse, and you know, and all these great villains, and seeing like Gohan, and you know, I don't know, it just so like the texture, like the feel, like the music, everything was so dope too. Like even like what people, you know, after DBZ was over, even GT, you know, GT was canon, but hey, Daima basically is the canon of GT, you know, and even Daima was incredible, bro. Incredible.
Beautiful. I think all things considered, even though we've come to find out, I think now they didn't quite have the ending in place for Daima at the time of when they started. I do think it was a very fitting tribute to the world that Akira Toriyama built up.
Right.
I was at New York Comic Con when they announced Daima, and man, that place was a frenzy.
I believe it, bro.
Because they have like a panel for Dragon Ball, but you're not expecting a new anime. You're not expecting that new anime to follow Dragon Ball Super. So that building was nuts.
Yeah,
let me tell you. And it was really, really cool to kind of be like in the place where it's like being announced for the first time. I've never been a part of that up till that point. So
yeah, no,
that was really fun.
Daima was good. It was good. Super was great too, man. You know, I feel like the World Tournament that they had in the end, you know, the last
Tournament of Power.
The tournament, Tournament of Power. I feel it was great too. You know, it's gives you that feel of like Dragon Ball, but like somewhere else, you know. And even like the Goku Black and Zamasu saga was great too. You know, it felt like, you know, Future Trunks. Like, you know, I feel like Goku Black was so dope and
so badass. Oh
yeah, and I think it was a good arc. You know, so even with like the future of it, I hear Super's coming back.
I think Daima was a really good interlude for when we can get Super stuff. And I know there's some rights things with that because different companies own the manga rights to the characters and the anime rights to the characters. So like that's an important distinction. And I'm talking pure speculation here. I don't know if that's fully the reason why we haven't gotten a Super anime for a long time, but I have to think that plays into it to some degree why we haven't gotten it. So I would like to think that everyone can kind of shake hands and come together and just put out new Super content.
Yeah. No, I agree too, and I just
especially post Broly, like we gotta follow through with Dragon Ball Super Broly, like that film.
Yeah, we want to see Broly, bro, and we want to see Moro.
Moro, yep.
Moro.
There's so much to pull from the manga. So
yeah, there is a lot to pull from the manga, so they could do it, you know, and even with like the what's the film with Gohan and Piccolo?
Dragon Ball Super Hero, yeah.
That was a great film. I went in there kind of blind to watch it, and I didn't even really watch the trailer like that. But when I did watch the movie, I thought it was pretty good. It's like, bro, we just seen Gohan with his real dad. You know what I mean? Like Gohan turns beast, and you got Piccolo turning into giant gold. You know what I mean? So it's cool to see that too. Like
I will admit, I haven't actually sat down and seen that film yet. I'm a bad fan in that regard, and that's mostly because I just was still unsure of where the brand was going at the time.
Right.
That's why I haven't seen it yet. But
yeah, like even with anime, well, like it's such a anime's in a different place right now. You got the Demon Slayer, I think surpassing Superman at 600+ million in the box office, which is
not surprising.
Crazy for anime film for that. You know, you have Jujutsu Kaisen, you have
we're getting into the final season of My Hero Academia.
My Hero Academia is wrapping up too.
That's a big deal.
Yeah, it's a big deal because people love that too.
One Piece is One Piece, and even the live action One Piece, you know, for returning to Netflix will be a big deal. I'm very excited for that. I loved the first season for that.
Yeah, One Piece is definitely like
we're just touching the surface on what we can talk about for anime.
Yeah,
I just wanted to, before we wrap up our first complete day of recording, I wanted to at least touch on that and tease.
Yeah, I'm ready for Jujutsu Kaisen though. That's like super like, Chainsaw Man movie comes out this weekend too. I want to check that out.
Fun.
It's very fun and very crazy. Anime's in a different place right now, bro. It's like, I like things.
Anime's in a spot where you go to these conventions, it's more pop culture than American pop culture.
Yeah.
These Comic-Con conventions and stuff. When I went to New York Comic-Con, it was way more anime-centric than superhero convention-centric.
Yeah.
And I would not be surprised if the more time goes on, Japanese pop culture is more influential than American pop culture here stateside.
Yeah, I feel
that wouldn't surprise me.
No, for
where
sure.
It's just becoming more. There's more and more anime conventions and anime spaces and places to celebrate fandoms and stuff.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if it just continues on the uptick.
Oh, for sure. That's how it is. And I feel like right now the way it's going is like there's a bunch of dope stuff out there and manga that people want to see in anime, and there's just some manga that are just strictly manga, and that's all they want to see.
The box office numbers will kind of tell you
Mm-hmm.
if more people are going to see these anime, manga, Japanese properties over the American superhero stuff. That's kind of an indicator.
Right. When I seen that they surpassed Superman, I was like, what? I mean, Demon Slayer has a huge community, bro. Just as big as
Doesn't
One
it
Piece.
tell you a lot? Isn't the
big
audience kind of telling you what they want?
Yeah.
It's interesting, I think.
It is interesting, And I never finished Demon Slayer. I seen like the first 2 seasons, but it's dope. People like it. Very picky with anime. It's hard for me to kind of like stick to it. The only one that really stuck to me like that was like Jujutsu Kaisen, and then I seen like Evangelion a couple years ago and stuff like that. Like I was like
Classic
90s stuff, like But I'm very picky with anime. But for me to like actually sit there and catch on, the Devil May Cry anime on Netflix was great too.
Yep.
But it's the future anime is bright. And if they keep doing these films like that, after the Broly movie,
and they keep making it more accessible for people to jump in and watch, certainly with not even just Crunchyroll being really the main anime platform, but all the things that they dish out on Netflix too. Mm-hmm. And you just make it more accessible for people. Hulu certainly, through eventually Disney Plus merging the platforms together, which is going to happen. They've made that very clear that it's going to happen. The more platforms that people can access to take in this culture, it'll be that much easier for people to say anime is way more popular than superhero medium.
Oh no, for sure. It's like a battle. It's like it's either anime or it's superheroes. And then everything else is kind of like, you got the pop culture of like wrestling, you got the pop culture and like music and the film industry and
Yo, we need to be sponsored by Hot Topic.
Yo, seriously.
Like right now.
No, seriously. Like
Mr. Hot Topic, where you at?
Something we'll touch base later on, like the comeback of horror films. We'll touch base on the next episode for that. I don't want to get too deep into film. We're gonna keep that for the next.
We're
episode.
gonna save that for one of our upcoming special guests.
We have a special guest coming up. We'll announce it very, very soon. But yeah, this is what what we're chopping it up about today. It's a beautiful night in Fitchburg. We're at Canvas. The Fan Fusion podcast.
What a beautiful day for recording and filming.
What a beautiful day for it's a Thursday. Nice.
Is it? I've lost track.
It's a crispy fall. Halloween season day.
Spooky time.
Spooky season. I don't know what I watch tonight. I really want to watch this Shelby Oaks movie. I don't know if you heard of Chris Stuckman. He's a YouTube reviewer. Probably one of the biggest.
I have.
His feature film with Neon is coming out called Shelby Oaks. And his first movie he's done it. It's a horror movie. It's like film and found footage. I like found footage horror movie, so I'm looking forward to that. So that's something I'm looking forward to, man.
Sick, cool. Man.
Yeah. So
I'm gonna go to bed.
I know, and I gotta work in the morning, so I'll probably watch it this weekend. So adulting, man. Age, we gotta rest, bro.
Appreciate y'all for rocking with us. I am Merrick Henry. JC, take us on out.
Good night. Appreciate you guys.
Okay, he took us out.
Let's go.